shopping is just a bitch, isn't it? Patreon commission review time again, and this time it is the second of Starkid Productions' trilogy of horror musicals. So today we're talking about Black Friday. Now, I did a review a while back for The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, and actually a bit before that, I did one for Twisted. So I'm on a path of slowly working through Starkid stuff and reviewing it every time I do. So yeah, this only marks the third Starkid production that I have actually seen. I had gotten the impression that at least in terms of the trilogy of the horror musicals, this is considered the weakest of the three. And while I have not seen Nerdy Prudes Must Die yet, given the clips that I've seen of that, I'm prepared to believe it. I don't want this review to be me cataloging, the issues and the reason this doesn't work as well as The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, but it's kind of hard not to. Because, understand, there's still just as much skill that is going into this as went into that. Between the performances, the craft of the songwriting, the staging, it's all good stuff. So it's not like they half-assed it. That's not the problem. If I were to nail this thing's issue down in the fewest amount of words, I'd probably call it too broad and it needed a narrower focus. So, without getting into plot about The Guy Who Didn't Love Musicals, on the off chance you haven't seen that, I recommend it. And it's not even that I don't recommend this, but I just recommend that one more. But in that one, there was a very tight-knit connection between our primary characters. They all had interlocking things with each other. We were dealing pretty much with people who worked together with a couple of outside people, this person that a character has a crush on, this person that a character had a connection with from their past, but they're still all being brought into the same core group. And we stick with that group. And that's how everybody ties together. Here, it's a lot more disparate. We keep jumping from this group to that group to this pair to this person, who, while they are all being confronted with the same events, and they're all having their lives impacted by the same things, they have very little actual meaningful connection or interaction with each other. And I think that's a big thing that this is missing. I also think that the scope gets too big. There's a whole thing, I'll get into plot in a minute. There's a whole thing with that shows the president trying to figure out how to deal with this, that honestly, I think if I had been shown an early version of this, I think my first note would have been cut the president's stuff. All of it. And it's not even that it's bad material, but it's just, it takes up so much time and has no direct connection to the characters that the show is going to try and bank some actual emotional connection with. It doesn't. The only thing it meaningfully contributes to is I would argue, potentially too bleak ending. Well, it's not necessary. Okay. There's an implication in the ending that's really bleak. You don't have to believe it, I guess, if you don't want to, but I didn't like it anyway. So that honestly feels like the only meaningful contribution of that entire plotline. And otherwise, it's a distraction from many of the characters that I think I had a much better chance at really connecting with. And the weird thing is, when this does emotional depth, it actually does it really well. My favorite song out of this, or at least the one that hit me hardest, was actually the second song in it, sung by a character named Tom, who's this father who's lost his wife, and he doesn't really know how to connect with his kid. And he has made the decision that what he's going to do is get his kid the hottest toy for Christmas that is going on sale on Black Friday. And he has this song about how he feels like a failure as a parent and how he is willing to do almost anything to try and be anything of meaning to his kid. And it's really heartfelt. And as a parent, who, while I don't connect to Tom very much at all in terms of his specifics, his ability to verbalize those fears and vocalize them in song, that hit me. That was really great. And there's another thing later on with the character of Becky, where we find out kind of more about her backstory, and it's not even sung, this bit. It's just her relaying a story, and it's really well conveyed. It's really well performed, and it's kind of chilling. So the best stuff in here is the stuff that could have really been boosted even further if we weren't cutting away from characters to other people who they don't even know. You get what I'm saying on that? Should I tell you the plot about this? I probably should have done that earlier. Welcome to my stream of consciousness nonsense. That is my brain. Anyways, so this is a horror story dealing with the arrival of and the panicked buying mania for the latest hot toy called Tickle Me Wiggly, which, if you take a close look at it, has a slight passing resemblance to certain eldritch horrors well known in fiction. That's not coincidental. And it goes kind of as I expected for the most part, other than like broadening its scope out too big. But primary plot wise, dealing with the ways in which people are prepared to tear at each other, and this sort of cult of consumerism, which is something that gets kind of literalized, and I think could have really been even more. But again, we're cutting away to do other stuff, and so yeah, I think I really just coming down to, and it's not like the removing the president plot would have completely addressed everything, because there is still the problem that, characters like Becky and Tom, they have some connection with each other, but then there's, I can't even remember her name, but this rich woman in town who is pretty disconnected with them, and then there is Lex, who works at the store where all this is happening, and she's got her own thing going on, and she's got her little sister, and they're very like a superficial connection is made between Lex and Tom and Becky, but like meaningfully within this story, they have very few interactions. They don't feel like a group the way the group of survivors in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals felt like a group. So like structurally there needs to be some rework, but I think really overall, if you just did remove the president plot line, you'd have so much more time to do more with these characters, with each other, tie them in with each other better, and also explore some of the ideas more, because some of it, time is spent on odd things. Some of the songs, and I don't remember thinking this about any of the songs in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, some of the songs are really overindulgent. They're a bit too long for their own good. There's really only one song in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals that goes on a bit too long, and the fact that it goes on too long is kind of the joke. So like that, I'll even give him a pass on that one. This one, there were multiple where I'm like, okay, I got it. Why are we still doing this? And it's not even that they were bad songs. A song doesn't have to be bad to outstay its welcome. A song can be good, but have finished doing and providing whatever it was going to give to the proceedings within 2 minutes, but then it goes on for 4. So don't mistake me for saying the songs are bad. There is a difference between something not working at all and something being on stage or screen longer than it can support. And I did feel that a little bit. This has been mostly me complaining. Like, here's the thing. If I had watched this before having seen other Starkid productions, especially before having seen The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, I probably wouldn't have these same complaints. I might have a few, but they wouldn't be to this degree, because I've seen this group, this crew, these creatives pull it together a lot more tightly than this. And the comparison is kind of unavoidable. I'm sorry. It just kind of is. I'm still glad I saw it. I don't think I'd ever watch it again, though. Like, especially if I could show it to somebody else for the first time, I'd happily watch the guy who didn't like musicals again. And I definitely still want to see Nerdy Prudes Must Die. I don't think I really care to see this one again. And it's not like I want my time back, but I was kind of left going, yeah, this does feel like the kind of sophomore mistakes that happen when you broke through with something like, oh, that really worked, cool, now let's try all this other stuff, and you extend yourself a little too far, you lose a little bit of focus, and it's not quite working as well this time. And when I say sophomore slump, I know this isn't literally Starkid's second production, but it is their second horror musical specifically. So sophomore slump feels like a slightly too harsh phrase to apply to this, but it does kind of have that flavor a little bit. So yeah, if you have not seen Starkid Productions at all, this isn't really the one that I'd recommend jumping in on. If you don't want horror, there's plenty of options anyways. But if you want to try their horror stuff, I would definitely recommend The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals over this by quite a bit. And maybe next year I'll get around to Nerdy Prudes Must Die. We'll see. It might honestly be optimistic for me to think I'll get to it within a year. Ugh. Took me a while to get to this one, and somebody paid me to. Yeah. Anyways, Black Friday. It's solid, but I know they can do so much better. I think that's kind of the short version. Have you seen this? What'd you think about it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills and enables me to do this as my living. Even if you can't help me out that way, like, share, subscribe. Those all help. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lafula, Monty Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Alyssa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Tracy Scrabbit, Pau Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite, as well as Welsh Wrestling Geeks. So, folks said they wanted the rats back. Here they are. I really should have not worn something that exposed this much skin. Their nails are sharp. Ow. Oh, you guys, get back